Hi, my name is Katie Carlucci, and I'm going to discuss the three videos that we were assigned to watch regarding professional counseling skills. Firstly, are these videos of the counseling relationship and the discussion what I thought. I have been on the receiving end of counseling before, and it did look a lot like that. In the beginning, establishing the therapeutic relationship, it can be a little awkward with like some silence and kind of learning who each other are. So like the client has to get comfortable with the therapist to figure out, or the counselor, to see is this a place worth opening up? Can I trust this person? And then the counselor is learning, okay, what am I helping with? What am I dealing with this client? What do they need from me? And how can we best promote their growth and their wellness from all angles? So there is a little bit of awkwardness at first when you're establishing that relationship, but that also goes with every relationship. So that was a little bit of what I was seeing, since these are the initial meet and greets in those sessions. So regarding the textbook readings for this week, in chapter 8, specifically pages 264 and 265, it's discussing the stages of counseling and developing that relationship. So firstly, we have the first stage, which is about establishing the relationship. So when you're establishing this relationship, as I said, you're first meeting each other. So it's important that the counselor creates a space that's non-judgmental, that's opening and warm and friendly, and gives just the opportunity for the client to see that you're trustworthy and that they can go as deep as they need to in order to heal and to discuss the things that they're there to discuss. So in that space, oftentimes it looks pleasant and respectful. So with these three videos we watched, I viewed it as pleasant and respectful, not very much intense or just immediately deep and right to the depths of the pain that they're feeling or the confusion or whatever it is that they're there for. And then also in this beginning stage of this therapeutic relationship, the client has a responsibility as well to be completely open and honest about why they're there, and they also have to have a willingness. That's what the textbook specifically discusses, a willingness to be in counseling, to develop this relationship, and to share the things that they're there to share. So from that, in these three videos, I did notice some differences. The homesick counselor, the female, she used more of the listening, awkward silence technique to allow the client to have space to speak and elaborate. She did ask some guiding questions, but I found that the dancing or helping video, that counselor, he was more engaged in the conversation and the probing of figuring out why she's there, and he was kind of taking more risks too, in the sense of like, so I'm seeing this, I'm observing this, is this what you do? Rather than just letting her talk. And the homesick counselor did more of that. And the brainstorming counselor, he was still in the beginnings of the relationship, the therapeutic relationship, but he seemed to have already had a session with him, because he said last time we discussed, and it was about brainstorming ways for him to just improve in his area that he's there for, which was his relationship with the Lord, and just feeling distant and how to explain that to his family, etc. So regarding those three, I would say that those were the differences. And the similarities, they were engaging, they were warm, and they seemed comfortable. To be honest, though, the homesick counselor, she made me a little uncomfortable, because I think using awkward silence is good, but there was a little too much of it. She didn't provide much insight or guiding questions as the other two did. So that leads into my question for this week's assignment. How does a counselor, maybe it's just practice, I don't know, but learning the appropriate times to be silent and the appropriate times to be very engaged in the conversation and to give your input, like the dancing or helping counselor did. He gave his input without having an answer. He was saying, so I'm seeing this, is this what's happening? So when's the appropriate time to do that? Is it very client-based? I'm assuming it is, but just more insight on that would be very helpful as you enter into the counseling profession. Thank you so much. Goodbye.